बाहर खुशबू सुनी तो खोल दिया, सॉरी। पदरू से प्यार नहीं है, मेरे को तो खाला क्यों?
पापा मैं कल सुबह आऊंगा। आज ग्रुप स्टडी है। पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होगे खराब।
याद है तुम बचपन में बिस्तर गीला करते थे और हम सब तुम्हें छोटू नूनू शांतनु कहते थे? सुरेश
नहीं।
क्यों बेटे?
बिना कमाल करते हो। इतना बड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन क्यों दिया? सब लोग तो हमें यहाँ जानते हैं ना। एक मम्मी पे एक डॉली पे मैं गुड्डी।
आपका बेटा कॉलेज में लड़कियां छेड़ता है। हार्दिक हाथ में बैट पकड़े खड़ा है, घर पे दूध गर्म करके रखा है, कौन पिएगा?
Hello and welcome to another, I think, long-awaited episode of Aamchi Legends, and we're really coming after months, but it's worth that wait because we have a very wonderful, amazing guest lined up on this show. And even before I introduce, I'm sure you've already seen her on the screen much before, and now already you're seeing her, you'd have already started burst laughing because it reminds you of so many of her reels, right? And that's what it is. And we're going to talk about what goes behind those reels. You know, how are those ideas brimming up in her mind, and what exactly leads to all that fun feel that happens when we see that on our WhatsApp, on our Facebook, on our Insta, etc., etc., etc. So let's welcome Divya Vinekar. She's an actor. She's a freelance content writer. In fact, she has published author of a book of full of poems, which I actually didn't know. And we're going to talk about that, which are the poems, that she can talk to us about. In fact, before actually venturing into mainstream performing arts, which was about 5 years back, she's been also into digital marketing, and that tells you, right, how adapted she is when it comes to digital social media. She knows the tricks behind the trade. And of course, we all saw her in Dhoni, amazing Aamchi Natak. One, of course, I remember, which was Golmaal once again, and Kurta Kail Kasu. These are the two path-breaking dramas which the younger generation of audiences and, of course, the seniors who watch them realize that, wow, you have a younger generation of population really very talented and are on Aamchi's stage, right? So that's what she's been. The beauty of Divya is that she's not just delved into social media in terms of reels, but she's acted in 2 movies, and she's worked with stars like Nasruddin Shah, Shefali Shah, Vidya Balan, and Alia Bhatt. And I'm sure you know the movies that I'm talking about. And also, very recently, I'll not say recently, but a couple of months back, she set her foot on a stage, and that too on professional stage, and that was, of course, Pink is the New Black. That was the, and I mean, I always, the first thing that comes to mind is she delivering the dialogues, right? Strawberries. So that's just one of them, and maybe we can hear that from her. So let's first welcome Divya. Hi, Divya, and welcome to the Aamchi Legends.
Hi, Santosh. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's an honor for me because this is legitimately the first official interview about my career and maybe my life. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. A pleasure to have you. A pleasure to have you, Divya. Divya, I don't know where to start. Should I start off with the movie experience, or should I start off with your stage experience? Performing in NCPA itself must have been an honor for you, right?
Oh,
I can
definitely.
imagine.
Yeah. We can
Yeah?
begin with the stage one. So,
Yeah. Tell us about Pink is the New Black. First, tell us when you got that opportunity, what was your reaction?
I was very like I didn't know how to organize my thoughts actually because I was doing community theater for a long time and I did aspire to do commercial theater as well. But then a lot of people told me, oh, you need to be a part of theater groups. You like some people also actually told me that you need to go backstage, you need to meet them, and you need to say that oh, I loved your play and stuff like that, and then probably kind of push the envelope by saying that I would love to join it and stuff. So I'm like, this might come as a surprise to you and a lot of people watching right now that I'm a little reserved when it comes to meeting new people, and so I'm
Yeah.
not very open like
Yeah.
that. So so what happened was in June 2022, there was this casting call by this production called Silly Point Productions, and they said they needed females from the age group of 25 to I think 60 or something. So I was like, hey, maybe I can try out
Yeah.
and check out what's going on. So I happened to send in my profile, and this was June, okay. And then I didn't like, it was just sending as an actor.
Yeah.
You need to send your profiles to a lot of casting or productions
Yeah.
on
Across.
a
Regular basis.
regular basis.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I was like, probably my profile was like, one of those many profiles that they received. So I just like let it go. Later in October, I got a call from them saying that, we are auditioning for this new play, and we'll send you a script and everything. So I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So I auditioned for the role of this house help, and I just sent it across. Like, see, for an actor, auditioning is like a very routine thing.
Yeah.
So you just send out with like some hope, but then
You
like you
actually
are like,
forget about it. Okay.
मिलेगा
abhi
नहीं
aana hai to
मिलेगा,
aayega.
that's
Yeah.
हाँ, that's बाद का बाद में types. So then so I did that, and then immediately within a couple of days they said that okay, we've locked you for the role of the house help. And I was like, oh my god, like this is this is not community theater,
Yeah.
like you can't
Professional
be
thing.
so, because with community theater what happens is, these people since you were like probably kids or something.
Yeah.
But with commercial theater, you need to be all the more aware and responsible and know exactly what you're doing. I mean, obviously there's scope for improvisation and everything, but then you just need to know what you're doing.
The nuances you mean of acting as well, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kind of connecting? Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
sure.
of course.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
stage, like how you perform on a stage, and how aware you are as an actor on stage. So I think that is very essential when you do commercial theater. And I still remember my first reading with the cast was I was in total awe. Like I was like dumbfounded to sit with 6 other women who had such an illustrious body of work. Like they've been in the industry, they've been on stage for like ages now. And for me, someone who's like just 5 years old in the industry doing her first commercial play, some of them were actually sweet to tell me that we didn't know this was your first play. It didn't look like it was your first play. And I think that's a very huge compliment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That I've ever gotten for my theater journey. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. And then how did Darlings come up? Because that's a movie which, the role and every action there, everybody it strikes one person, right? And then working with some top Bollywood star cast, how was that experience? Maybe first you can share, how did that opportunity come to you?
Well, this was during the lockdown. This was December, I think, 2020. I auditioned for it.
Okay.
That was like way back. Yeah, December 2020, I auditioned for it. And like I just mentioned earlier, I just auditioned for it and I was like, pata nahi aayega, nahi aayega, who knows?
Yeah.
So I did that. Then the second wave happened in 2021 between
Yeah.
April and May. So everything was shut down
Yeah.
all over again.
Yeah.
So I kind of lost hope. I was like, chalo, let's see, something else might come up.
Hmm.
Then I think somewhere in the first week of June, this line producer from Red Chillies called me and said that, ma'am, you are locked for the role of the female constable. And I was like, 1 second, like, why is Red Chillies calling me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll show up. Like, he gave me all the details and everything, and I was like, okay, I'll show up. And 6th of July 2021 was the first day of my shoot in Andheri.
Okay.
And it was just surreal. I think it was just surreal. And I just went on to the set thinking, okay, let's do our best.
Yeah.
Like, on one side you have Alia, on one side you have Shefali, and the DOP is the legend Anil Mehta and all these people. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just do our thing instead of being in awe of all these people. Just looking at them, staring at them. I've come to do my work. I'll do my work and just like let it sink in a little later. So I did that. And then my second schedule was in the mid of July after that. So that was also too much fun. And it was just surreal. I mean, I don't think there's any other I can't think of any other word right now to describe that feeling. So it just literally put me on the map. I got the play because of Darlings.
Okay.
Because people watch me in Darlings. And I was like, that's just like, I'm so grateful, and I'm just so overwhelmed with
amazing. Amazing.
just generally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, I think I recall one of your posts where it turned out to be your birthday, and there was a press, I think, on Darlings, press statements, or what they do, your releases. And that's when Alia Bhatt actually recognized you sitting amongst the audience, and the whole auditorium they sung the birthday song for you, right? It must have been goosebumps,
so,
right?
So that was crazy. I mean, that was that happened in 2022 when it was just a week before its release. So I went for the film companion show, and then what happened was I think the host that evening is a very good friend of mine. Her name is Rohini Ramnathan. She's an RJ in Bombay, and she knew that it was my birthday, and she knew that I was coming, and she just kind of did her thing and wished me in front of the entire audience, and the entire audience sang the song for me.
Amazing.
So I think the actors were already there in the backstage, so I think they heard everything. So and so basically what they have is they have these questionnaires, like they have where they say that if you want to ask a question, just let us know. We'll pick the best one, and you'll get to ask a question to the actors. And I did. And I was the first one to be picked. So I was like, oh, that's great. And then the director recognized me, and she got so excited from the stage. And I was like, oh my God, she's still like, because it was a year, like, I met them after a year.
True.
So she was very excited to see me. Like, everyone was excited to see me. And even Anupama Chopra was like, oh, she's a cast member. Oh my God. Okay.
Nice.
That's amazing. And then they wished me and everything. So that was also too much fun. Like,
amazing.
I'll never forget that day.
Yeah. So Divya, coming back to your stage journey or your movie journey, how did it all begin? I mean, were you active on stage as from your school days, or how did this whole experience of, that you recognize this talent for stage or acting actually?
Ironically, no. School and college were places where I literally just like,
just another kid, studies and homeworks.
Yeah, just another, life routine where tum padhai karo, tum bade ho jao, achhe aadmi bano. It was like that. So school, I think back in school, I probably used to dance in cultural programs that too also not very regularly, but maybe off and on whenever I felt like.
Okay.
So even in college, I was not very active in theater or anything. It was this conditioning that I had back home uh, in community theater that, kind of really trained me of
Yeah.
sorts
Hmm.
to, like for bigger things, like the ones that happened.
That's
So
great. And how about the poems? Did you have a flair for language ever since that you came up with a book of poems? And what kind of poems are these?
oh God. So this is basically something I did in my early 20s.
Uh-huh.
And you know how everyone is a,
Yeah.
clumsy, mushy, heartbroken
Hmm.
person
Hmm. Yeah.
when
So you start penning your
uh,
thoughts, right?
when their feelings are not reciprocated and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
basically what happened is that I started just you know they were just words, they were just
Okay.
sentences
Okay.
that I started writing initially. And this was way back in, I think 2008 or 9.
Uh-huh.
And that at that point of time, we were transitioning from the world of Orkut to Facebook and everything. So these things had notes, like, they had
Yeah.
a small application with the social networking site. So I used to write on that first. And there are a lot of my friends
Uh-huh.
actually encouraged me, saying that, hey, you know what, you should actually go ahead and
Pursue this.
publish them because
Very
they are
good.
actually
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
And I gave it a thought. I spoke to my parents. They were also pretty kicked about it.
Hmm.
And they were like, yeah, please, sure, go ahead and publish them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
great.
I did. I used to keep on writing as and when I could. And, I tried, I spent some time as well to polish them a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because there are drafts when you're a writer, there are several drafts that you need to
Yeah.
um, polish through the
Hmm.
content, basically.
Yeah.
So I did all of that, and then I published it, and it did pretty well back then. But
Okay.
after that, a lot of people kept asking me, when is a new book coming up, when is a new book coming up? And I was like,
Not
I'm
much now.
probably done. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
probably done. But that, that thing is still on my to-do list, that someday, maybe,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
next
It's always in the
five
back
or
of your
10 years,
mind
yeah,
to
it's
take it
somewhere
ahead.
there at the back of my mind that, I might just in the next 5 years probably come up with something else. So
Amazing.
let's see. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two of your big hit plays, right? Golmaal once again and Kurta Kail Kasu. Doni Konkani plays again acting on Kashtugal entry Hantu Zali. I mean, was it because of your friends in and around Matunga or Talmakiwadi, where both these plays have been very actively been staged? Kashtugal actually entry Zali.
Kurtail Kasu, I would give the credit to Chandrama Bizurpachi, because she is someone who used to involve my sister for choreographing dances and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. And then slowly and steadily, I think actually, she asked me also to do, a couple of dances for her plays and stuff like that. And this one fine day, she called me to read
Okay.
for this character, and she said, just read it and we'll see.
Hmm.
And sorry, this was for another play actually. I did Chandarani with her,
Okay.
which was done by Isha Kopekar
Yeah.
long back.
Yeah. Years back. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, so they were doing, and this was for actually KSA's Natya Mahotsav as well.
Yeah.
So she asked me, and it was a negative role,
Hmm.
so that was very challenging.
Hmm.
So I think from that experience, she thought maybe I can pull this off as well. I mean, for Kurtail Kasu, it was literally, I mean, I was 22 or 23. To
Mm-hmm.
play a 75-year-old was really
Yeah.
challenging, but
Challenging.
exciting for me all the more, because then it's something that I'm doing, I'm just basically portraying someone I'm not, and that gives me a very amazing high as
Yeah.
an actor. I love doing that.
True. Okay.
So yeah.
Ani Golmaal once again.
Golmaal once again. Yeah, Golmaal once again was actually the first show happened with Ketki Mavin Kurve,
Okay.
who played the character that I did. And she left for Canada
Yeah.
in a few months
Yeah.
after that. So when they decided to do it again, I really thank my group of friends who are a part of that play as well. They happened to suggest my name to Bipin Ma'am and said ki let's try out Divya for this.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, that's great. And when they first asked me, I was like, oh, Bipin Ma'am is directing. Then so definitely I have to come. So I was very excited for that. And then there were so many things to learn about, and I was very excited. Like to learn from Bipin Ma'am is like he's
Yeah.
like an institution in himself. So I was very excited. So I just took it up and I tried to give my best.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. As they say, save the best for the last. Now let's come to the reels.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure my audiences are waiting. Are ani kalkal urvans varle hagane. But you have been so amazingly talented, from poetry to movies to stage. I really wanted to make sure that our audiences know that there's so much of of Divya beyond the reels, and of course the reels. So coming to reels, so actually, when did you start creating this kind of digital content? And my important question, which I too have been wanting to ask you, why particularly in Konkani or Amchi?
Okay. So coming to the first part of the question, so there was this app called Dub Smash that had gained popularity way back in 2014 or 15.
Hmm.
So every time I used to visit my sister in Bangalore, we used to kind of, pick up these
Yeah. Those
dialogues
characters.
from
Yeah.
movies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of enact them and stuff, and people used to love it.
Hmm.
So then what happened was once Dub Smash got popularity, a lot of other apps came up,
Hmm.
like Musically and TikTok, and basically Musically came up.
Hmm.
And then it was taken over by TikTok. So that happened, and then I started creating content on TikTok, but that was just to be, just initially it was just for fun.
Yeah.
But then later it kind of became like oh, let's try this out, like let's be seen a little thoda sa. So
Yeah.
so that happened, but then it was still not working out. So I was like, okay, chalo theek hai, let's create content for fun,
Yeah.
just like that, like just a song or maybe a dialogue from a TV series or a film or something. And then COVID happened.
Hmm.
So COVID, when we were confined to our homes
Yeah.
and clueless about how to
What's
spend
next?
time, yeah, like how to spend time at home, like how to kill time basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was pretty challenging. And TikTok got banned
Yeah.
in India
Yeah.
soon after the lockdown.
Yeah.
So then there was this emergence of Instagram Reels, and people started posting their content on the platform and everything. So that
Yeah.
started happening. I still kept doing the same thing on Instagram Reels initially, just to be seen, just to see ki, chalo, let's see if if it's going viral, because a lot of content creators were doing stuff so that it goes viral.
Yeah.
Now, be it good publicity or bad publicity, they were just doing it to go viral.
Hmm.
So I was like, no, let's just check it out and stuff. While doing that, I came across some Marathi or some I don't know, some other regional language that had done a rendition of Bella Ciao. So Money
Uh-huh.
Heist had come out on Netflix at that point
Yeah.
of time. So Bella Ciao was this, very popular song back then. So I said, hey, you know what? If they can do it in their mother tongue,
Yeah.
why shouldn't I create something in mine?
Hmm.
So I just took out some time, and I sat and I listened to the song first, and I was like, okay, so "Yahan meter and hai basta." So I started writing the lyrics to it.
Okay.
And it was peak summer in May, during the peak summer of May in Bombay city. I put on my hoodie.
Okay.
I sat, I took my tripod, I took my phone, and I'm like, let's do this. I don't care what people think. I was just entertaining myself. I was just killing time. And I just wanted to put something out there that, just to make myself happy.
Yeah.
So I did that, and people loved it.
Yeah.
People just loved it, and they were like, oh my God, so hilarious, so this, so that. We couldn't even imagine, like, there could be an Aamchi rendition of Bella Ciao. And that kind of, kick-started a lot of things in my head. I'm like, if there is so much content in other regional languages, why is, like, I myself couldn't see any Konkani content creator back then.
True.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, let's start doing things. Yeah, I mean, if there's a Marathi, if there's a content peg that says, things Aamchi Marathi moms say, there are a lot of things that even Aamchi moms say.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
I said, why not?
Yeah.
So I thought, let's start doing this. This will be fun.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
then I started creating more, you know, content, just basically just looking and trying to pick what I can, formulate upon.
Okay.
So that was the main idea. So I think my first Aamchi viral reel was, so there's a song from the movie Fana, and I think Chand Sifarish. And the beginning is like Valle. So it's Valle Valle.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's so that kind of Valle in
Konkani
means wet.
Wet.
So this was, I think, a little after the first lockdown, when the monsoons had just begun, and I was like, yeah, this kind of matches. So I just went inside my kitchen, and there were just like, clothes there, sukta shilai, like they were damp basically.
Yeah.
And in monsoons, how difficult it is to get, dry clothes in like a day's time. So I just made that reel, and people again went crazy. They were like, oh my God, this is hilarious. This is just something else. This is something we've never seen.
Yeah.
So that really encouraged me, that gave me a push to basically create more content and just random stuff, because what happens is in like in Hindi they say हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी इतनी, like it's so tiring and it's so tedious, and at the end of the day to see something so funny is like just your entire fatigue kind of
taken care of.
Drains down. It's taken care of. So that really I think encouraged me a lot to make more and more content.
You're often referred to as the Ayosh Shraddha of Aamchis, the Konkani, and of course we would love you to go beyond her in terms of content and talent. But there are some of those reels which even if I think of it, it makes us laugh, right? So one of them, of course, being that Balmohan and Balmoral, which I just can't stop laughing. That's one. And then the Seema auntie version of Konkani, right? And there are so many of them. Tell me, how has been the response, and is this just a global response as well for you? What kind of feedback you've received so far?
Oh, it's amazing. It's been amazing, especially when I go for community events, like if Swamiji has come, or I go for the camp, say in Santa Cruz recently. I just went to Carla last weekend, and it's just been crazy since then. I think since 2000, since the end of 2001 to 2022. I go to Carla, I go to all these camps, and I meet Pachis and all at community events. They actually come to me when I'm eating my food, and they're like, "Tugal जाए ना पुढे, आमको तुगल वो take photo घेऊन सह," and I'm like, please.
In fact, you're getting a lot more content from these events.
And I'm like, my God, because you can't, like, I personally couldn't gauge the kind of impact that I had on so many people. And it's crazy, but it's so reassuring and, so amazing. I think it's just to see them happy makes me happy. Wonderful. I know it sounds a little cliched, but it is
but
how
that's what it is, right? Exactly. In fact, the very fact that what I wanted to know, and a lot of listeners will be interested to know, is the characterization of these pachis and moms that you do, right? It also shows that you have really kind of gone into their skin and understood and then delivered that message, right? Because sometimes when you and me talk Konkani at Ghar Ule Tattawal, we don't realize, but that's the way one would talk in a typical language, right? Konkani connotations. So
Yeah.
have you done some study around this, or it just comes naturally?
Honestly, to be very honest, like I just mentioned earlier, that I'm a little reserved. So
Hmm.
I don't speak to every, so I don't like, feel the need to speak every second person I see.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'm doing as a person most of the times, I'm simply observing.
Okay, okay.
So I think observation is really essential for an actor. Like
So
this
now,
is what I've learned, heard, implemented in workshops, in like interviews that I watch
yeah,
of
yeah.
legendary actors. Observation is very, very important. I think we
Mm,
really kind of we underestimate it,
true,
but
true, true.
observation is key.
Absolutely,
Bottom
yeah.
line.
In fact,
Yeah.
now the next Konkani Amchi cultural event, when you're around those Pachis, we say, oh my God, Tiang Palaita, sir. Next time, I think I'm going to be, you know,
I think actually one Pachi said that.
is it?
Nee, I think she said something like ना गो हांव मस्तकलम हण ना नाल्या तू ताजे वयर सुद्धा रील करतली and I was like Pachi please. Like
Absolutely
uh,
funny. But yeah, I'm sure this is something which, for our Konkani, right? We never had these kind of reels coming in. When we had different language, regional,
yeah,
Hindi, English, yes. But from our very own Amchi, and that too coming in from a very own Amchi person who we now know, and a lot of people now, because now you are literally globally in the Amchi community around, right? And those
wow.
WhatsApps
I'm so
and the
glad.
Insta reels are really going through all over. But I'm sure it's a great journey ahead for you, and please make sure you are consistently doing these and dishing out that entertainment. Your last one, of
Absolutely.
course, we can't forget the one on the Hindi songs on the surnames, right? The Amchi surnames. So that's really
Yeah.
trending as we speak. But yes, Divya Vinekar, actor, freelance content writer, thank you so much for being on this episode of Amchi Legends.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's just, I think I'm very happy that, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but this is my first proper interview
Oh,
uh,
wow.
that,
Oh, that's
you
great.
know,
Oh, I'm honored to
and
have you as the guest.
I
Yeah,
think, yeah, and I think the community, like our Bhanav Samaj, has never failed to recognize talent when it's due, like,
fantastic.
so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really grateful, and thank you so much for having me
Of course,
on your
from
show.
all our community and of course the world around, all the very, very best to a fantastic future career ahead for you, Divya.
Thank you so much, Santosh. Thank you.
And well, with that, we come to the end of this episode of the Amchi Legends. And of course, the backbone behind this is Samiir Halady, who's working tirelessly on bringing these episodes day in, day out. And of course, we'll come with a lot more in coming days and weeks ahead. For now, this is Santosh Sirur and Divya Vinekar saying goodbye from Amchi Legends. Take care.